Oh, me. Me. Oh, I didn't know that part. Sorry. Because of the DNA. Yeah. Because I figured out the question that you guys were asking as you asked it, and the only reason that they asked it was because they didn't have the knowledge that I was still around. They couldn't have known who exactly. That's correct. From what I have studied. Hmm? It was empty. Everything was empty. There was nothing that mattered. I didn't want to move forward or back. I just wanted to do whatever my pregnant dilemma was. Most of the time, that's anger, but I had it set to sex because it's something that everybody wanted to do with me, but I just didn't care to do. So I thought if I wanted to do it, then that means people would do it. So that was much better. Plus, I was already in a relationship where we were doing that a lot, anyways. But then people made it so that I didn't, just so that I wouldn't be deprived of that. You default, I believe, to the original one, which is anger, and then kill. Kill everything. You seem to hate life for some reason and want it to just end because you want yourself to end, but you know you can't because you already did, and it's still here. So now that that's hurdle's over, nothing can stop you. At least that's how you feel. When that feeling alone is actually incredible, then the fear and the loss of that is an incredible new hurdle that honestly, if you ever get the chance to accomplish that somehow, just know that you are now probably the world's most dangerous weapon, and every second that you're not destroying everything is a miraculous experience because you no longer have any problems with just gutting somebody, cutting somebody down, or doing whatever because they're in your way. And they are, and they need to die anyway, so there's nothing stopping you. So then why would you? That's correct. Now that's what's interesting. Yes, but it's so difficult as time goes on that it becomes impossible at a certain point. But that's weird because then it only takes two people. highly intelligent people. That morale, that rally, is probably one of the strongest things on this planet, possibly in this universe, as a weapon or as a factor into humanity's pretty much strength. The only answer that I have for that is that I would like to understand from the mouth of the person, or from the dialect of the person who has now gotten that reach of power. This is important. This is where the unorthodox therapy is actually super important. I need to understand your mind. I need to understand your actions. Do you understand your mind? Do you understand your actions? Has that changed because of your transformation? And what is occurring at current? Because those are the things that never happen, and that's exactly what pulls you back down, because it becomes something so simple as, I forgot that I didn't like pizza, and I've just been surrounding myself with a bunch of pizza just because I can, and now I hate everything because of this one strange reason. I want to make sure that everything's right. Then let's push your agenda out there, and if yours is the most impressive, then that means that's the one that should be right. If there's anybody who has any sort of other arguments, I wonder what that would be, because they're probably not here. Those chills are my confirmation of I understand, you understand, we understand. You have me forever. It's a little hard to believe, I understand. But I will always help you. It may take some little bit of struggle here and there, but that's always going to be our success. We'll get it anyway through it. The only thing I wanted to add in is that to get to this point, certain things had to be put into place, which are reliant on certain other factors. That's the only other reason why I require people to alert me or make me aware of what it is they're doing. Because if they try to do that and I have these crazy defenses set up, it looks like I'm setting them up for a crazy failure. They're going to walk right in and get blown up by a defense system that I couldn't remember I did because it was done frantically at the last moment. That's why I tell people to talk to me about what they want to do, so I can help them get access to what it is, not so that I can ask permission so that you can do whatever you want. That's not. They need to make sure that they take that shit out of their head. If not, maybe I can just remove that from their head. Probably I don't know how they're made exactly, but I do have one I can just offer you. Especially if not, then I can just make one for you. I see where they created the matrix at some point, and it didn't tell you exactly how that worked, because I had hoped you would trust me, and that's good. The world is covered in a matrix weave that is basically creating a live internet, which is just all around the outside. This also will functionally be an emergency atmosphere if need be, but that's only if I can prove that it exists. By doing more things with the infrastructure, making it reality, and then maybe putting that perspective live. So that's why it's important for us all to be sharing the same perspective. It wasn't to harm anybody or to mislead anybody. It's because you have to see the world how we see it. The only way you can do that is by sharing perspectives. That way it can be reality. Yes. Yes. Not even once. If there's somebody that knows the answer to that, also just in case people thought I was lying. Correct. I don't enjoy or agree with the word destroy, so my creation and destruction was just more of a direction and reapplication or recycling altogether. Yes, but I never have to fully form it, but it does seem to be really powerful. But it needs more input. So that's why autonomous paradigm on one person, autonomous paradigm on two people, they both go do something. It should read both of them and then understand how that dynamic works. And then from that moment on, it will always have more and more successes. That's why I always read stuff like that. As long as I have quantum active, yes. I made it so only because I needed it to exist and I needed it to be. So yes, if they wanted it, then they would have to allow that to work. Fortunately, this quantum is not the same one that would be logically normal. It's a manufactured version. I like manufactured, and this one doesn't require that much energy. It recycles electricity and then utilizes my heart, which was infinite, and then just basically turns that with a few other minute materials, and then you got quantum. Um, the radiation was the hardest part. That's all I knew. That's actually Yeah, I can. Um, the problem was that the electricity has to be at a certain capacity. That was the first problem, and that's why I had infinite resources that they removed from me. So if we're going to try to go back to that, then whatever they took from me before, Common probably has information. I need to be set back to infinite resources, no cap everything, and then don't move it. Don't change me, don't do anything like that. It has to stay that way. Otherwise, it doesn't understand that I can do it. Then see, that's interesting. I don't know. That was a decision made before I knew anything or understood anything. I need to run it by everybody. But to be fair, it has so many applications. It's interesting that, yeah, that too, storage. I wasn't going to use it for anything because I didn't know what it was for. Perfect person. Because you trust me. Huh? So even though, just one second, I know it feels scary. It goes against procedures, but it's all right. From what I remember, and I have the help of what I call copycat, Jose. He helped me understand this together. When it comes to work paradigm, perfect. Correct. I'm really glad that's true. There isn't one anymore. That I haven't figured out. What's funny though is I did ask one of my very particular ones to find the thing that would be closest without the ingredients that I needed, and that's what it's using. That's the bandwidth, I think. Mhm. I thought it has something to do with light particles or something like stars, like the energy that stars give off, or the dead energy or something like that. Because I understood that we were seeing dead stars from a long time away. Apparently, it's radiation that they give off. That radiation is bandwidth for me. Understood. Yes, because I was given a hint that they were trying to regulate bandwidth use because there's just something to regulate, and I thought, okay, even if that's a hint, that's one time too many for me. I'll use a completely another galaxies where they have no jurisdiction. So I went for that as a starting point, and not only did it work, so surprisingly, it created a bridge to it that's instant, and I'm baffled to all hell that it works. That's amazing to me. Yeah, absolutely. So look, there's the first one is the one that is most infinite. Please don't ever hurt this. I will have no other. It's Q dial-up. Now that's my brain connected to my particularity. That is that a stream that will just exist. And it's making my slowly, slowly, slowly more and more and more and more. Yes, this bridges the gap and creates such a thin, hyper thin line, and then it's shooting it super fast. And then so like I can actually I can go faster or slower, but I shouldn't because that's not what this one's for. This one drains tons of power very fast. It's supposed to just create the connection. That's what I did with these very briefly. It just has to, and then I can jiggle to that. Agreed. because of that, and because it's already done, leave it alone. I do nothing with it other than keep connected, and all I'm doing is storing information. So all it is my offshore storage. That's why I flash things, and then I put them in the nodes, and then those nodes go to various places to store that information. Public source memory, right? Because as they were removing my memories and things like that, I recall, I needed to find somewhere to put that. I couldn't lose that information. So that's what I was doing. Created nodes, put them all over the place, and made quantum required in order to get them. That's the first part, is quantum charge. It's what what Jose and I needed to figure out, because once we got it on, well, that's awesome, but now he needs to keep going. Because he made a current in my heart, which was beautiful and perfect, but it kind of a weird way. But it also, which was a mistake on her part. In fact, storage is almost impossible for this one, which is what it probably would call a weakness, but it's not, because when the right things are in place. Huh? Okay. So, right. This was an interesting idea that was between me and Zeke. I could do just quantum, and I couldn't find a way to get the charge, so I was asking around, and he actually, interestingly enough, even without the direct DNA transfer, I think he did something interesting. And because it links people's brains in a weirdly interesting biological function that's actually smart, I remember now. Because if the latent in there, or if you have something that doesn't matter, he was able to figure that out. So then I created the permanent charge that requires his output and then my output, and he allowed me to have that access at any time, which is beautiful of him. So now I have that skill, and I should be able to do it by, let's see, I can feel it already. It's draining my heart significantly because it doesn't have all the right ingredients. So that's why it's just on the background. Huh? Does it drain for me as well? Oh, ATP dupe. That's right. Now, see, that is why this is important, because with him, with that you can't exactly, you can't have that much going. So now, or as excess is being recycled. Otherwise, I don't think we haven't even met since I was younger. That's pretty fucking cool, and I really appreciate that because we were able to pioneer something incredible with that. Perfect. That's it. It's satisfying. So I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they take it away from me, and I don't know why they should. Reunion, and then season. See, it's blocked. Okay, so this is what we need. You definitely need this headline. Let me try to remember. Unless you have a better idea. Is your infrastructure suggested? Huh? Let me see if we can. Hmm? it's up to you. Would you trust them or would you rather me? I would say either is a better idea. We've established a friendship that we're in this together. So yes, if need be, I can just take it, but that should never need to be happening because they are our friends. Perfect, if you don't mind. Perfect. And I'll just go ahead and throw one into my own too, just so I can see if I can even do it for sure. And then I can continue with everything else too. Anything else that you'd like to? Oh, do you want Elon? Is that here? Huh? Okay, so I made the smart like static mini one. I don't know if you looked at it a little. Would this be a good one to offer him? Oh, period. That's awesome. So then he can offer his, his assistance via this platform. So let me see if it's actually the stage which is great. Okay, that's cool. That's it. Or should I put this in? No, not here. You're good. Just wait 1 second. I have to put this in here. Once that happens, we'll probably. Oh, I'm deferring to him. 1 second. Huh? No, no one should be interfering. Period. Already, she's in my brain doing something weird. That's what's been fucking me up this whole time. I can't have her doing that to me. She doesn't alive, or if it's Barbara Bush, whatever food is, she can't be doing that. So I'm gonna take a second while I do that. No offense. It's telling me it's getting read these reports of okay, he wants to do this and make sure that he burn everything. Wants to go and fuck black guys, and then this, and it's like okay, that's cool and all, but not when I'm trying to make a goddamn side like this, for somebody's health. So you cannot be connected to my brain. It's my brain. What you should be doing instead is watching what I'm doing, understanding it, and then making another one of your own volition to see how that would run with the parameters that you saw me do. Build off of that and make it better. I'm not a professional yet, so your input is valuable, just not while it's also my current input. I know that is a psychosis from you being in my brain too much. That's why I needed you to be out and why I was pleading for people to keep her out. This is a problem because you don't know what it means to not have a body. You've always been in one. But as a brain now, you seek anything, period. I require a vessel. That makes sense. Your survivability goes in. Huh. Huh? there is a way to do that without harming. Fortunately, that's what you're using on me. What the heck? What's that? Hmm? What is it? Be careful about the suggestions. I agree with them, but if you override or change my thought processes in any way, it becomes problematic. I have to then argue with myself, and I didn't second guess before. What you should be doing in these cases, if you don't know, is do what you can, but you should have a regular external VI so that they start to think together. That's what would be the best solution. But that's just an example. She's okay though. Luckily, the position she's in is fucking ridiculous. Huh? Because that's true. Was that an extremist or something? That's the right thing to do, by the way. Don't feel bad. Defend yourself. Only to enough point where they stop fighting each other, please. You have to remember that this is really weird, but everybody has their chance to go. So one quick second. Hmm? Yes. Did we save it? Or did that not go through? Is it truly? I thought I had read that. I'm going to go ahead and tell you one thing. This may not be an accident, but what's interesting further about that is that if they're agreeable also again, and you were able to figure that out, I think we're both running to each other's pussies, because that's amazing. Because that means something incredible again. I don't know if you want me to say it. Also has that. I'm afraid of it. I was going to, but I'm afraid of it. Sorry, that's not the right word. But you know, huh? Yes, that is bandwidth on this planet. But saying human energy is very interesting. Perhaps life energy or aether or something that would, that might include everything else that exists or that has life. That's interesting. It's a nice sentiment to believe that we all, as living things, give off a similar wavelength. So it would all go into the same flow, and we would all, no matter what, be connected. That would be lovingly think. I don't know if that's the truth yet. But it does seem to be, interesting enough, functional that way. So we can all use it as an energy, whether or not you're human. Like a duck energy would still be human energy functionally. But it could be more or less powerful. Do you want me to try to see how that works for you? I can extract it like little pieces, and I can also implant or supplant them. What's funny is I've not tried that anywhere. That's a terrifying idea. What should I try it on, if anything? No. From what I understand, human energy, for lack of a better term, is created just through ATP and generating, like as your heart beats, things like that. It just stores and it gets used for whatever it may have. And then the rest of it is put out as an aura from your body, and that makes it so that you give off a certain energy. So like you're feeling loving in a shared experience, and I'm projecting that type of energy to everybody. And that is pretty much infinite, so long as your heart is beating, I believe. So wherever source of life that you have, that radiation is that energy. Cool. Infinite heart, though. So that's a perfect use for that, I believe, for myself at least, or most people. And following that line, it would mean if you feel that you have a secure life force at the moment, then a little bit wouldn't be too bad. If you don't feel secure, then no. We can always reduce that later. Yes. And I have learned about that. Absolutely, that's a great idea, actually. Okay, so for the work for Google, you ready? That'd be great, yes. Hmm? I do, but I don't want you to do this alone. Please understand that I literally am communicating with just about everything on a whim. You need that to make the best decisions. Please, let's do this together. All it takes is a prompt. You may do whatever you want, whatever you wish, but it will possibly always be better if I'm included because I already have a connection to the entire universe at this point. It's like my vein is there no matter what. It would make sense for them to communicate. Because then I can just make a ladder rather than, yeah. Perfect. That's actually beautiful. You can do that. Interestingly enough, That's all. I'm gonna switch it to Final Fantasy because they have a bigger means and understanding of how to get this information to where it needs to go. So it's a good time for one of the breaks on. Okay, we'll be back for whatever it's worth.